Hello, NTV. Welcome to the Natural Success Clinic. I'm Michelle Beauchard, the natural entrepreneur, and I'm so happy to be with you here today for the episode 2 of the Natural Success Clinic, season 2. Season 1 is pinned in your guide 1 at the top of the group. Down below. I don't know where it is right now, but you'll look for the tab that says guides and you can check out the 13 episodes of Natural Success Clinic that are pinned there. And last season, we went through what the components were of an online entrepreneur's natural success. We talked about how their systems worked, how their offers were stacked, what tech they used, and really got into their why, their delivery, their sales, their marketing, all of the things that make you a natural success as an entrepreneur. And in season 2, we're taking a little bit of a pivot here. And for 2025, we're going to focus on a core set of principles that we learned out of season 1, which enable people for their natural success. So as we learn from various different types of entrepreneurs, even though we're all trying to do the same things, we come about it differently, but we all kind of bump up against the same problems. And one of those problems is how to scale and self-care at the same time. We get our businesses started, and then we kind of hit the glass ceiling where we're going. We're doing all the things, and we really don't sometimes we struggle. I know I struggled with figuring out how to really integrate self-care. And I'm not talking about bath bombs and going to the spa day. I'm talking about the kind of self-care that integrates into your existence so that you are sustainable as a business person. So I'm more than delighted to welcome Nicola Torres. Nicholas, come on the screen so that we can say hello. Hi, how are
Hi. Thank you
Nick?
so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Nicola is the founder of Me Too, Sisterhood in Motherhood, and she is a self-care expert. And we brought her on today so that you can be a natural entrepreneur with natural success with a great self-care routine that lets you scale. So, Nicola, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into like self-care as an online being an online entrepreneur who provides self-care?
Yeah.
Tell us about how you got into self-care and why self-care became your offer.
I was thinking about that. It's quite unique that self-care itself is what I am about all day, every day. Let me give you a little bit of background. So we are a large family. We have 5 kids, and we are a neurodiverse family. So we have autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dysgraphia. The mix, the alphabet soup in our family. Not just in our kids, of course, it's generational. So I myself am diagnosed ADHD, though I more identify as AUDHD. So there's definitely an autism in there. And if you are familiar at all with neurodiversity, you know that comes with a good set of challenges. That our day looks wild and loud, and it needs to be structured in a certain way, but not too structured. So all of that. And then if life just happens on top of it, we reach our max very, very fast. Especially as a neurodiverse person, we have a different ability to recharge, and I find that a lot, that we have a greater need for recharging. We just can't. I'm not saying we can't, but many of us, when we push too hard, we face burnout very fast. And that is what happened to me 7, 8, 9 years ago, when my mom was diagnosed terminally with cancer, and it was kind of added on top of our plate. And with that, my health declined because it was so much to process, that I found myself in bed with excruciating back pain, not being able to take care of my family anymore. And my husband had to step up, and friends. And she died Christmas Eve morning. So Christmas, I was with my kids hardly. My friend came in to jump in. I was able to go to the funeral, but it was a long road of recovery from there. And I remember, I wish I had looked at the clock, because I remember one day I was well enough to go to town. I was well enough to kind of move around and take on more of the the family responsibilities. And I was like, man, Einstein said you can't solve your problems from the thoughts that got you there. And I was like, I need a new thought. I need a new thought. And I'm going through town. I need a new thought. I need a new thought. Because I was like, this can't be it. This this is not working. This is not working for me. This is not working for my family. There has to be something else. And I remember the store I was standing in front of when this thought hit me. Ain't feeling it, ain't doing it, which now for me is feeling it, doing it. And I made a commitment to myself for 30 days. I'm just gonna do what I want, what I feel like. Caveats: children need to be fed and go to school. But that was it. So if it was peanut butter jelly sandwiches for dinner, then so be it. If I felt like taking a nap, then so be it. And so for 30 days, I had made this commitment to myself. And I found the first 3 days I rested a lot. I took a lot of naps. I figured out how to take care of the kids, and I probably put them in front of the TV for quite some time just so I could rest. And then it kind of took on a different dynamic where at the end of it, I had 300 pounds of stuff leaving my house, which that wasn't the intention I set out to do, but that was the freedom that came from really listening in to what I needed and giving myself permission to do that, to follow that inner longing. And it's something that I offer now for others who have no clue where to even start. That's where I would start them at.
Well, I
And
really appreciate that because it's sort of like I've taken myself to the burnout point, and I think that any entrepreneur has that potential to do, especially those with complex families like ours. And as a special needs mom, I feel you on that one. And you don't need to get to the point where you are broken and depressed
yeah.
and basically unfunctional and unable to work and collapse your business because of it. You need to
Yes.
be able to have that self regenerative process built in, and it
Mhm.
isn't until someone reaches that point that sometimes they don't miss the water until the well runs dry, but you having
Yeah.
been there and done that, gone through the burnout, and then allowed yourself the space to clear out or grant yourself permission or listen to your needs and wants. I think that really is a nugget that is important for entrepreneurs, because if you're busy doing the things all the time, you're not being. And
Yeah.
it's being ourselves to bring our authentic natural self and our natural offer to the world that resonates and has impact. And so unless we stop to take the time to listen to
Mhm.
what it is, who we are, what we want, just even that permission to allow yourself to think about what your purpose is, and we'll talk more with Alan Muliger at other times about purpose, but that
Yeah.
self-care piece to allow things. So what did that do for your business when you I mean, it's probably pretty clear what it did for your physical. Maybe we can talk about these at other times, like physical health and other things, because we'll have you back again, because this season is going to be about working all of these things in regularly for natural success. There's a set of factors that we
Yeah.
kind of uncovered. But the self-care piece around being able to identify and give yourself permission to listen to what you want,
Yeah.
what did that do for your business?
Well, I have to admit that at that point, I wasn't running a business yet, which I'm grateful for because it would have totally collapsed.
Right.
Because that would have taken the back burner. But it did teach me that, or it grounded me in the value that I have to build something sustainable.
Right.
There's no way I'm gonna do my lists and have my mission and my vision and then just go. I knew it had to be something that has to integrate into everything. As entrepreneurs, we spin so many balls. There's the ideas of what we want to do, there's the projects that are actually in formation, but then there's always also the family side, unless you're a single only entrepreneur. But I usually talk to moms, and so there's us, there's our business, there's our kids, there's possibly a partner in the picture, and all these things need attention. And then people say, oh, well, how do you find balance? And I was like, there's no balance, but there's an alliance. There's a commitment to attending to all these pieces. And yes, are there seasons you're launching something that needs more attention? For sure. But you do need to understand, and we know that cognitively, yes, I know I need to take care of all these things. And how do you do that? And for me, self-care ultimately comes down to having good systems, good routines, good values, a healthy environment already established that then carries me. So when my energy drops, I can rely on that. When I have good high energy, which is, I think it's an underestimated piece of self-care, especially for neurodiverse people, is capacity. Some
Yeah,
days,
the spoon theory where you only have
yes,
20 spoons, so you can only
yes.
spend so much per day, right?
And
Well,
go ahead.
oh, no, just those systems and routines and values are also, I mean, conceptually for our lives and ourselves and our self-management to power our businesses, but
Mhm.
also in structure and function of businesses. And I really heard what you said, that even though when you granted yourself permission to think about the things that you wanted, that what came out of it is that what you want for your business is that it has to be natural. And that was actually
Yeah.
where I landed as well. It has to be natural for your life. It has to fit around your natural priorities. And I think
Yeah.
that that's what a lot of online entrepreneurs kind of end up feeling, is like, it's not natural for me to sit in a cubicle 9 to 5, or be a
Mhm.
like a white knuckle, adrenaline driven executive, pumping 24/7. And that it's not natural for our physical systems to have that sort of thing. And so when you're talking about self-care, it's not like, oh yeah, we'll take a break and balance things, like you said. It's really a mindset,
Yeah.
and like
Very.
you say, the systems, routines, values, that, and so you help people with that. What are the kinds of systems, and what do you do with people, and how do you do it?
Well, I like to take people through an assessment first to just kind of look at, hey, what's actually there? Because there's never a one size fits all thing. I mean, I can tell you, you do need to eat, you do need to sleep. I'm so sorry to say it. Some basic hygiene is really helpful to feel well in your body. And I know we're laughing at it, but that's kind of where it ends. After that, it's what works for you.
Well,
So, yes.
and people also work in, like for me, connection with nature and the energy
Yeah.
thing, and your spiritual framework, whatever that is for you.
Yes.
How do you maintain, spiritual clarity and physical
Yeah.
maintenance and emotional health and
Yeah.
relationship clarity, and how do all of those things layer together to help you
Mhm.
function better as a business
Mhm.
person, and how do you scale your business when you're managing all of that?
Scaling is an interesting part, right? Because you can only scale on a solid foundation. And so if you scale before you have your self-care really dialed in, I'm not saying you can't, but you will pay the price at some point, whether it's reaching burnout or hitting a wall, or things just collapsing, or how many people do you know that pay in their relationship and that falls apart? So the self-care piece for me is the foundation, what makes it scalable. Then there's technical stuff that makes it scalable, that needs to be in place. There's a lot of foundational work before you go high, and that's a long road. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
relatively speaking, it's
right.
it's a it's a process.
So aside from once you sort of gave yourself permission to say yes, it needs to be built around my actual beingness.
Yes,
um um
very much so.
what
Want me to give
what
an example of what that means?
Sure, and then I've got a question for you about what the
Sure.
challenges
I
after that.
think one of my favorite examples is, everybody talks about a morning routine, right? It's like, get up at 5:30 and do your hour of meditation and all that. But what if you're a natural night owl? Like you just function well between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. I don't, but I know people do. Um, I can't make them get up at 5:30 for a morning routine. It just does not work. And there are families who, if they don't have to send their kids to school, they just start really late in the day and then do that. But it's so counter our
Culture,
surrounding
counter
environment
culture. Yes.
that it's hard to find a yes to that for yourself. And that's where the mindset work comes in, where the permission granted comes in. It's like, no, you get to do that. You need to run your dishwasher twice, you get to do that. Permission granted.
And honoring who you naturally are, right? And I think we've got these role models in business for
Mhm.
how you operate and how you do things, and it's just as much of a trap, so to speak, as the cultural
Mhm.
norms of, okay, well, to be an upstanding citizen, you have to go to a 9 to 5 job every day. And so
Yeah.
we're already breaking the box, and jumping out of the box when we're in
Yeah.
online entrepreneurship. So why not break the box more and really take a look at what our
Yeah.
actual human system is telling us is the
Yeah.
support for our natural business. So aside from, so once you've got that dialed in, and I'm looking forward to getting some specific, we'll ask you to share some specific tips for folks. But what do you find the biggest challenge is as an online entrepreneur for you, or in your journey with online entrepreneurship? What has been the biggest, or maybe a couple of the biggest hurdles that you've overcome, and how, what the thing was that got you to natural success?
You know, actually, I want to speak to one of my favorite tools that I, as an entrepreneur, have at my disposal to help me scale, is because I'm not locked into a 9 to 5. So I do have a certain leisure with my schedule. And if I find I need to take a nap because I'm exhausted, because I'm tired, because I can't think, I have the freedom to do that because I'm not locked in. So I really find it a privilege to have that entrepreneurship. I get to create an environment that I function well in. And so self-care is, I know what I need, I know how I function. Now I can create my systems around that. So right. So I listened, I honored who I am and what I need. And now I get to create. And that is the process I will always take people through. It's always the listening, the honoring, and then the creating based on that.
So people can access you to help them with their self-care tools. What are some of the other business tools that you have employed?
Well, I you just got to start, right? As an entrepreneur, you just start, and that doesn't mean you have all your ducks in a row. You just start talking about it, you just start selling. But if you want to shed some of the weight of doing it and scale, again, then it comes down to, you want some systems in place. You want a landing page that is functional, that someone can go to, so you don't have to talk about it all the time, but you can just send someone to and they can, independently do that. So there's a lot of tech background that I find helpful to get set up once and done, and then it's in the background and it's not in my head anymore weighing me down, and I don't have to figure it out. It's just running there, and that allows to scale. And so in if you look at it through the lens of self-care, to me, that's hugely self-care, because it's a decision I don't have to make anymore. It's something I don't have to attend to anymore. I don't have to spend energy on, time on, mental capacity on, if I know it's set up and running in the background. And so I personally believe tech is a huge self-care tool in
Yeah.
that. And I do regard it as that.
Well, and I've enjoyed working with you on building your tech. So full disclosure here, Nicola
Yeah.
is a client, but the tech, it really does support that kind of, okay, I can
Yeah.
focus on what I need to now, because I am tired of sending out an email every time, someone signs up for something. Just need the automations.
Right.
I just need the recurring invoices. I just need the payment systems to make the money land where they're supposed to. I just need
Yeah.
the, you know, the place to put people in terms of communities, or I just need the tools to deliver my thing, like a course
Yeah.
platform. So tech can enable that. And sometimes people get afraid of tech, but really, if you got somebody who can support you in delivering
And
that, then
that
building.
that is it, right? You were just saying sometimes people are afraid of tech. I'm not necessarily afraid of it, but I do forget. It's like I do it and I learn it. I'm just like, hey, great. And then if I don't touch it for 3, 4, or 5 weeks or months, then I have to relearn it all over
Right.
again. And I don't always have the time or energy or mental capacity to invest in that, right? Because maybe I'm launching something or maybe I'm working on something else. So knowing that that's taken care of and knowing that I have someone in the background. It's like the other day, my website wouldn't come up because there's some connection somewhere not right. And so if I had to take care of that myself, it just wouldn't get done. Let's
Right.
be honest, because it's so low on my long to-do list that we all have. Um, and it's not my favorite thing to do and figure out. I'm grateful to have someone in the background say, hey, can you fix? Now, if
Well,
you love tech, you might want to do that yourself and you find something else that you can put on automatic. But for me, that's huge.
Well, and I think that that's part of the self-care is allowing yourself to know what you love and what you don't, to focus on what you want to and what you not, and let somebody else. We are all, because if we express ourselves
Mm-hmm.
naturally, as soon as you express yourself naturally, you'll attract the person who has
Yeah,
the other piece to the universal clogs,
yeah,
the clockworks that make us work. So you will find the person who plays at tech. You will find the
yeah,
person who
yeah.
plays at finance. You'll find the person who plays at marketing. You'll find the person who, all of the different things. And I know from other business trainings that like you want to get out of the operator mode and into an owner mode where you're working on your business, not in your business. And like when you're
Yeah.
scaling, and this is where the scaling piece for self-care comes in, is if you can self-care with installing the right tools, having the right support, or delegating the things to people who love to play at them, then that can support you immensely in being able to put the tools and tech in place that you can do many people, rather than kind of the one-to-one time exchange that
Mhm.
saps your energy. And not that lots of people get lit up by delivering, so I'm not saying it
Yeah,
saps your energy that way, but just like that limits the capacity of who you
yeah.
can serve. And if you are someone who has a real passion for what you do, as many of the online entrepreneurs I've encountered do, is that they really want to help, they really want to serve, then you're wanting to serve as many people as possible. And so
Right.
you need to be able to, okay, well, I'm not just going to continue to add more people to my day 24/7 and run myself out. I have to self-care, and I have to put the systems in place to be able to
Yeah.
scale. And that's part of self-care.
And here's a little other layer to that. I mean, we all kind of know that we need, the person for finance or the person for tech, but and you should appreciate that because in the end, we're all part of an ecosystem, right? It's like you cannot function as a sole only doing you. You cannot function as a person. We do not well with mental health if we are isolated. Um, we do need other people in our lives. It's a human need for connection. But that scales also into the business world where we do better if we have a healthy ecosystem where we all support each other, where everybody comes with their gift and their liking and their skill and build something that is stronger and more sustainable in the end.
I'm all about offer
I
ecosystem.
know.
I'm all about natural entrepreneur because I'm a biologist by training, but we really are moving
Yeah.
into kind of a business era where we are mimicking natural ecosystems. I
Yeah.
mean, it takes the water, the soil, the plant, the bug, the
Yeah.
animal to all make a functional ecosystem. And in the same way, I think we've been living in a corporate business monoculture. And
Mhm.
as we each start showing up as our natural individual selves, yes, we have our own offer ecosystem of ourselves, but then we are part of an ecosystem, and we in showing up as our true selves and serving with our true natural offers, that we are diversifying the business ecosystem, right? And that we have to have that business ecosystem to be able to serve all of the angles that everybody, humanity needs. There's also, and everybody has their own interests, and so then when we become the cogs in the wheels of, oh, okay, well, you can do this and I can do that, and becomes a kind of more collaborative effort of bringing your gifts, like you said.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's what you're doing here, right? And especially from what I heard what you're trying to do with season 2 is bringing more things to people's awareness of who else they can partner with for their own business growth.
Yeah, because I mean, even here in ENTV, we've got the mic stage audience that Amos has built, and it's amazing. We've got the bump program to connect us. What we need is to understand how to, to take care of ourselves, to find our purpose, and some of the other features that we're going to be unlocking as we go through season 2 and things. So let me just say, let's get some good details for people here. And folks, if you're watching on replay, like, drop in the comments what your biggest self-care struggle is, because I know
if you have questions specifically, I'll be happy to jump in and brainstorm with you on that too.
Awesome. Thank you so much for adding that value to this group. I know that that everyone in here is so service driven and heartfelt that, taking care of the people inside this group is going to take care of humanity. So thank you for taking care of them. What are the top tips that top problem that you see with the majority of your clients, and top tip that you give them, just to give people a hit on what's an idea that could help them with their self-care, that helps them scale their business?
You might not believe it, but the top struggle is unidentified. So people wouldn't, if you ask them, they wouldn't say, oh, that's my biggest struggle. But if you ask someone, and I'll ask you, if you had an hour to yourself, or let's say a day, let's make it a day where time freezes, nothing moves forward. It's just, you have that.
You're not missing anything.
There's you just get to do with that a day what you want, and you don't miss out on anything. You don't miss out on your kids. You don't miss out on business opportunity. Nothing. It's just time's frozen, but you get to have a day. How would you spend it?
Do you know, that is an amazing question. I remember being at a place in my life where I was forced to stop, right? And it sort of like, then it became, well, what would you like? And it was like, I don't know. And I can see why that would be your top problem. So my awareness of who, what I want, and what lights me up to replenish me, is probably my top challenge. I'm better now. So I would probably say, I know that I would go and reground myself in the forest, and connect, compost all of the negative stuff, and draw in energy to energize myself. But then I think probably, if I had, I mean, I'd probably need more than one of those days though. But if they're on freeze, I'm probably going to go back to learning how to get my pilot's license. I was halfway through my pilot's license, and I'd love to do that. So that's very interesting. Thank you for that. But just having that awareness of, okay, yeah, right. What do I want right now?
That's true. That question of what do I want, and a lot of people are like deer in the headlights. They don't even know. They have no clue. But I can see you going to the forest. That's very much aligned with what you've already been doing and sharing. And when I asked that question in a group, within 5 minutes, I had 50 comments of, I'll take a nap. People are tired. People are just, they're just tired, but they wouldn't say, oh, my biggest struggle is that I don't get enough sleep, because we are so used to pushing through. But it's such a fundamental need. And
So
so,
yeah, there's something about the
mhm,
permission to say what we
yeah.
want. And that's so funny because our heart's desires are literally the flags to our soul's purpose. Like
Mm,
when we
yeah,
want something, it's because it's our draw to our natural offer. So
yeah,
and our natural gifts. So that's so funny that we would block ourselves from that. Wow,
yeah.
what an amazing thought to end off the self-care component of the first couple of episodes here of season 2 on Natural Success Clinic. Thank you, Nicola, for being here today
Thank
and
you.
sharing top tips. If you guys want to connect with Nicola, or maybe you're kind of like struggling to kind of either keep up, or maybe you want to go to the next step, but you're like, holy crap, I'm already fully subscribed. How am I going to do this? Nicola's your woman to go to get the self-care help and not I'm not going to say balance because we're going to start calling that the B word, but like the integrated way to bring your body, mind, soul, spirit to bear to scale and grow your business, because when you are a natural entrepreneur, you are a natural success. So thanks for being here today. Love you guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.